bum, bada bum bum, bum, bada bum bum, bum, bada bum bum, bum, bada bum bum.
Dice, rolls, dragons, trolls.
Adventurous.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back
to Adventurous.
Adventurous. Darn.
I won. Welcome back for realsies, though. We're still here.
Why is that? Why is that like a statement?
I don't know. We're still here, despite what people maybe thought. We're still doing this thing. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not ending on a cliffhanger of Mirabelle's green bean coffee.
That's right. We're going to have to come back, because last week, Kia, I creeped you out quite a lot.
I thought it was Baba Yaga. But nope, it's a Mirabelle with her green bean coffee shop.
That's right. And so, yeah, kind of the recap last time was Kia's on the trail of Tsar Bloodhoof. He showed up in Map's Edge and activated their wild magic storm device that Theodora and Gunther were working on, and unfortunately caused a magic storm to appear right above Map's Edge, and everyone in the town portaled away.
Except Theodora.
She was hiding inside of her tower, which is unaffected. She told you that the Bloodhounds came. They caused this wild magic catastrophe.
Catastrophe.
And that she pointed you in the direction of a retreating vehicle owned by Tsar Bloodhoof. So you are hot on the trail, riding your moto-wheeler, past places you've already been, into the swamp called Boot Stealer Bog, where you fought some
Gatorfolk.
Gatorfolk.
Were trying to steal my potatoes.
They did. They stole. They ruined some of your potatoes.
Wee.
And then you made your way further in, and I super creeped you out with the approach to a hut called Green Bean Coffee.
Speaking of, I have a coffee today
you do.
because I like to theme.
You're theming your beverages now?
It's not green, but it is coffee.
Speaking of green bean coffee, you stand there, the steam pouring out from the windows, the hiss of machinery and strange noises, the screech of something, and then the hee-hee-hee-hee, oh-hoy! And this creepy old wrinkled lady pops up. She goes, "Hi, Mirabelle. Welcome to Green Bean Coffee. Would you like a beverage?"
I think I...
And you were like down on all fours.
Yeah. I like pop up and like straighten my vest. And I said... I think completely surprised by this as I was. I think Kia would be like very surprised and a little bit embarrassed. And so I think she'd straighten her vest, probably wipe off a little bit of the mud and say, sure. Let me grab my vehicle and I can be right back.
Wonderful.
I have a feeling this episode is going to be very non-serious.
Because we're always so serious. Okay, so you go grab your vehicle.
We were for about one episode.
Which one was that?
When Gunther does. Actually, no. We were for about a half of an episode.
There you go. That sounds more like it. You run and grab your vehicle and you start wheeling it back. You hear those strange noises again. But now that you know what it is, it's a lot less creepy because you pull your vehicle up and through the little window on the side of the hut is this lady. And you start to realize that this is a past world facility.
Yeah.
This looks like a roadside espresso stand. And so the construction of the building is less creepy witch hut and more like it was basically an espresso hut that she added a thatched roof to.
No.
And as you approach, the steam pouring out from the windows, she goes, "Hello, sweetie. Now, would you like to see what I have to offer at Green Bean Coffee?"
Oh, wow.
And so again, she's this old lady, probably an old dwarf woman.
She's short.
So she's shorter, yeah. And wrinkled face, big nose, with the classic wart, but not green skin or anything like that. She's wearing bog witch frumpy sack clothes that put off this sort of vibe of like she's from the swamp.
Yeah.
But as you look at her a little more now, you do notice that that's kind of like a cloak she's wearing, and underneath she's actually wearing seemingly kind of like nicer clothes.
Yeah.
And is well put together. You get the idea that maybe this is a little bit of a performance type experience. And she goes, "Now, if you will just look over at our menu off to the side there," and she hits the side of the hut, and one of the shutters bounces over, and there is a menu with 4 beverages on it. And she goes, "You can pick whichever one you or your companion would like." And then as she reaches up to point at the menu, you notice that her little weird cloak moves away, and she actually has a little name tag that says Mirabelle.
I look at the menu.
Okay, so you look at the menu. There are 4 options on the menu. They are as follows. If you want, I'll just read what they look like in the flavors. Okay, so you have a little painting of the coffee with what's inside of them written next to it. First one, the DK Latte. A dark purple beverage with blue flowers sprinkled on top.
Oh.
Tastes like lavender and blueberry.
Oh.
Then you have the red cappuccino. Don't worry, there's no blood. Okay. A brown chocolatey beverage with a huge dollop of red foam on the top. Tastes like a red velvet cake.
Oh.
You have the Baggiato, which is a swirling dark green beverage with green smoke that pours out of a large central green flower. Tastes like caramel apple. And you have the Fungal Frappe, a beige-colored beverage with yellow spots, and it tastes like vanilla and cinnamon. And she goes, "Now, each one of our beverages has a special feeling and experience that you receive when you drink them. They are quite delicious." They also cost 1 gold each. One gold clip each.
I shrug and wow, I'm just completely blown away at how silly and stupid this is.
You're welcome.
Oh wow. Okay. What was the purple one?
The top one?
Yeah.
It's called the DK Latte. Tastes like lavender and blueberry. Flibbit probably comes over too and he goes, coffee beverages, huh?
Yeah.
Is that, I've never had that. Is that some sort of...
I think so.
Exciting. Maybe I'll get one as well.
What flavor are you gonna get?
I, being a creature that once lived in caves myself, am particularly fond of the Fungal Frappe.
Okay.
Little mushroom drink sounds interesting.
I turned to Mirabelle. I think I'll get the purple one.
The top one? The DK Latte. It is made from the death of many creatures in the swamp. I bottle it up and put it in there myself. And then she looks at you and with a less ridiculous voice goes, "That's actually just lavender and blueberry, and then some bog flowers on top."
Oh. Well, yeah, I kind of deduced that.
She starts. Do you pay for the drink?
Yes, I pay.
Okay, 2 gold. And she starts whipping up the beverages. As you start looking in now, you see this old past world machinery, right? We would know what it is as human beings who live in the modern world. It's a big old espresso machine. But, to Kia, it's this crazy, all these pipes and tanks. And she turns a knob and steam starts pouring out. And she's pouring weird colored liquids and beverages into different things. She also has, as you notice, she kicks open the back door to her hut.
Oh.
And behind her hut is just a field of colorful flowers.
Oh.
Fields of them.
Wait. I can peek around and see this?
Yeah, if you were to go around the hut, you could see this.
Oh.
But like from your position, you can't see it. But through the window and through her back door, you can see flowers that go back. And she goes over and she snips off some of the blue ones for yours and sprinkles them on top of the beverage. And she, while she's making it, she's just happy to small talk with you. She goes, "Now, sweetie, tell me, why have you come to the Green Bean Coffee Hut?"
I think she is still a little bit like surprised about this, and like very caught off guard, and say, I was just traveling to Athon, and I saw this hut, and I thought, well, why not get a drink?
What a wonderful idea! You're not the only traveler I've seen today.
May I ask who you saw?
There was a strange vehicle that rolled by hours ago, but they did not stop. Foolish, if you ask me. And she starts finishing up your beverage.
Yes, very foolish. Can you describe to me what this vehicle looked like?
It was very large. It was made of metal. It was made of wood. And it had wheels, and it rolled by with a furious thump and roar. It seemed not very well put together, if you ask me. I mean, you get the idea that, this was probably the vehicle you've been chasing.
Yeah, I say, so, are you the owner of this fine establishment?
I am one of the owners. There are two of us. We, the two Green Bean Witches, run this establishment to provide for travelers.
Just as for clarification, you couldn't make it 3 and be like really cliched.
Do you want me to make it 3?
No.
I'll do it.
Nope. It's fine.
I'll change it.
Nope. It's fine. I say, may I ask where the other owner is?
Why did you ask it like that?
I don't know. I think Kia is
like such
very
high-pitched and like unsure.
Yeah, she's very unsure about this whole thing.
She goes, "Oh, the other witch you seek is in the fields, harvesting the ingredients we need for our beverages." There's a flower patch out.
Yes. I see it.
Yes.
It's very pretty.
Now tell me, what brings you to Athon?
Trade.
Insight check.
Deception check.
I rolled a 1.
Oh.
She goes,
So I don't,
you don't
need to make a deception.
She goes, "Trade? How wonderful. Similar to the trade we're making right now. Are you drinking this beverage?" She hands it to you.
I hesitantly take a sip.
It's delicious.
Okay.
It's so good. Tastes like lavenders and blueberries. And you have received a tiny bonus. The DK Latte, a dark purple beverage with blue bog bloom flowers on it. Tastes like lavender and blueberry. You automatically gain 2 successes on the next death saving throw that you get. And the next healing that you receive gets an added 1d6 of healing.
Woo! So if I ever die,
You ever drop unconscious?
if I ever almost die, I can have the coffee is keeping me awake.
Yep, exactly. But it does only last for 24 hours.
Okay.
But the healing part,
So I need to make sure I almost die in the next 24 hours.
that's one option. Flibbit finishes his. He slurps it down and goes, that was delicious. I'm so hyped up right now. Oh my gosh. I want another one. I want 2 more. I want 3 more.
I pat him on the head and gently push him away.
Okay. He gained resistance to poison damage, which he already had. And, but he does get the benefit of an bardic inspiration. So he gets a 1d8 that he can choose to add to a roll for 24 hours.
I say, hey, I push him back and put him in the sidecar and buckle him up.
But here, it was so delicious.
Yes, I know.
More.
Mine is too.
Okay.
Well, I turn to Mirabelle. Thank you for the drinks.
You turn around and Mirabelle's outside, standing in front of you. Super creepy, really close.
I think I jump a little bit.
And she goes, "Yes, sweetie, you're welcome for your drinks. Do stop by again."
Wow.
Yep.
I do not know whether to be creeped out, annoyed, or like amused right now.
That was the entire point. As you are getting her set up, you hear a voice in the back of the hut shout, "Mirabelle! Mirabelle! Come quick!" And you hear that voice, and Mirabelle goes from this like, she stops, she looks kind of concerned, and she turns, and she says, "Thank you, sweetie," and then runs.
I unbuckle Flibbit.
Well, are we getting more?
No.
But the coffee is so...
No.
Okay.
We're going to help the coffee maker, okay?
Do you suppose when we're done, she'll give us free coffee?
Has Flibbit like addicted to coffee now?
I think it's just caffeine high.
Yeah.
Oh.
I pat him and say, "You'll calm down soon enough." And
He's just like shaved. He's basically just jittering.
I think I grab him by the tentacle.
Okay.
And tug him along behind me. And
So you dart and you go around the hut. As you get around the hut, you see this field of flowers. It's not wide, it's like long and narrow. And so it's this really long field that, goes probably a quarter mile.
Oh.
Or maybe even longer. And it's just rows of these flowers. Blues, purples, greens, yellow, etc.
It's rainbow.
Huh? It's probably
Roy
close.
B. Jiv.
Yeah, it's probably close. As you come around the corner and you look down the length of it, you see Mirabelle running over to a much taller figure, another lady in the back there who is half orc.
Mm.
And she goes, "Mirabelle, come quick, look." And you see them point, and looking down the length of the fields, you see two familiar shapes. One with a staff with a mushroom on top, and another one with a missing club, but a big Gatorfolk person. And then you see two more shapes. There are 6 Gatorfolk that are quickly on the far end of the field running in and scooping up bog flowers.
I look to Mirabelle and the other witch.
Mhm.
Have they seen me yet?
Yeah, she was right there.
Yeah.
It's not that
I
inconspicuous.
say,
She goes, "Sweetie, what are you doing?"
I know these Gatorfolk, and they tried to steal my potatoes. They're stealers and vagabonds.
Vagabonds.
And, yeah.
All right.
And I am not allowing them to steal your flowers.
Well, sweetie, I appreciate that most graciously. And you kind of see that she's dropped a little bit of the creepy, like,
Cackly witch.
witch. And she's like, "We must get to them quick. That field is one of the major sources for green bean coffee in the city.
Okay.
And the council will be unhappy." And the other witch goes, "Mirabelle, who's this?"
I say, I'm Kia. I like your coffee. It's very good. My friend here also likes it.
I have never had anything more amazing in my entire life.
I thought you said pancakes were good, Flibbit.
It's equal to pancakes.
Okay.
And the big one goes, "Yeah, hi. Well, let's go.
I think I,
My name's Krem."
Krem and Mirabelle.
Mm-hmm.
I shake her hands.
She does not offer a shaking hand. She's starting to run.
Okay.
And she starts rushing down the length of the flowers.
I think I pull my bow and start to rush
Yeah,
to her.
Mirabelle looks over at you and she goes, "Well, you must be quite the adventurer. Are you a rummager?"
Yes. I flash my license.
Sorry, I can't help it sometimes. And Mirabelle starts sprinting alongside of you.
Okay. I think to myself as I look at Krem and say, half orcs are cool.
Okay.
Because
Beryl was a half orc.
Beryl is a half orc. They're pretty rad.
Maybe you should make a half orc character one day.
Hey.
Big old burly. Krem is bounding forward very, very fast. And she, partway through, pulls out a pouch full of mushrooms and things like that. All components, yep. And Mirabelle does the same thing, only Mirabelle pulls out a thermos. And it looks like her stuff comes in a coffee thermos.
Of course.
And as you are sprinting down that way, the 6 Gatorfolk notice your guys' approach, and 3 of them, including the shaman, stop collecting flowers and basically make a line in front. And the other 3 are still trying to collect flowers as much as possible.
A line like a vertical line or
no,
a
like a horizontal line.
Okay.
Like they're making like a wall.
Okay.
Did you go ahead and roll some initiative?
I got a 6.
You got a 6. That is terrible.
Mm-hmm. Out of a possibility, out of lowest possibility of 4, so
Okay.
not very good.
Let's see when my witches go. They were worse than you. This time, you do not get the initiative. And the shaman is ready for you. All of them are going to go before you guys. Nat 20 on Flibbit.
Wow.
All right, I lied. Flibbit is going first. Flibbit hopped up on caffeine, hopped up on this high peak energy. Goes, nobody is going to take my coffee ingredients from me. And he flies forward at super speed. And he is going to rush over to them. And I think he's going to just do his standard stench spray.
But he's not afraid this time?
He's not afraid. He rushes into battle. And he is going to cast out a stench spray on the shaman. Shaman hit, and he hits.
The shaman hit.
4. D8 of damage is 6 damage. So Flibbit goes, and he's going a little bit crazy in battle.
Okay.
What's up? Or are you waiting?
I'm waiting.
Okay. The shaman and the 2 gators go. They spread out, and the gators start rushing you guys first, and the shaman backs up a little bit and again starts banging his staff on the ground. And you don't fully understand what it's doing, but he's doing it again. Little puffs of mushroom smoke come out. Boop. The 2 gators rush in. One of them's going to rush for Flibbit. Takes out a club and hit. I roll so bad.
Yeah.
For my bad guys. Doesn't hit you
for me?
Either. Yep. I rolled a 6, which made it a 12.
Nope.
Which means they both rush out, and the one closes in on you. He's in melee range, and he swings with his club, but you're easily able to duck it and slide past it. Flibbit is jittering around like crazy, and is almost like he's got a displacer beast around him. He's going so crazy right now.
I look at him and think to myself, it's like he's got the watch of speed on, but he doesn't.
Yeah, he's got caffeine instead.
Oh, wow.
Okay, it is now your turn.
Okay, so I'm right next to this guy?
There's one right next to you. The other 2 are further back towards the flowers.
Is that a good plan?
I mean, I did say that you kind of slid past him.
So would I be not within melee range of him?
Roll for it. Make an acrobatics check. We'll see if your slide in the mud waters, the bog waters, allowed you to roll
16.
Yeah, so we'll say you slide past him. You slide 10 feet. So he's behind you now. He's closer to Krem and Mirabelle.
Okay. I look at the shaman, and I look at the 3 at the back.
Yep, the ones that are still, and they're down low, just ripping flowers out of the ground.
How close are they to the shaman? Are there any within 5 feet of the shaman?
We'll say I'll roll for it.
Okay.
2 of them are within 5 feet of the shaman.
2. I'm going to use my last spell slot. Cast Hail of Thorns.
Nice.
So I'm going to spray my bow, my arrow, and go and pull back and shoot him. And I'm going to shoot at the shaman.
Okay.
And it's going to create a cone of thorns around that the shaman and the guys have to dodge. First, my normal arrow. Does a 17 hit?
17 definitely
shaman.
hits. Go ahead. So you pull your arrow back, arcs through the air, hits the shaman, and explodes.
4. My actual bow damage is 9 damage to the shaman.
For the initial?
For
Okay.
the initial.
He's still pretty hurt from before.
And then him and the 2 others need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Shaman first. Fails.
Whoa.
I mean, I rolled a 4.
Oh, yeah.
I assume it fails.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a 6 total. I rolled a 2 so 2 fails. 3 fails. Wow.
Okay.
I'm so good at this.
Wow. So all 3 of them take 8 damage. 8 piercing damage.
Dang. Another. And so he also takes that also?
Mm-hmm.
You just did 17 damage to him?
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Dang. Wow.
And
okay.
8 damage to the other 2.
Okay. Well then. You got to roll for concentration again.
Well.
Fails miserably.
Yes.
So again, his staff stops from hitting the ground. Creme, are you moving anymore? Sorry. Or bonus actioning?
I'm going to. Casting Hill of Thorns was my bonus action, so I'm
and then
going
doing
to.
the attack was the normal action.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm going to. How far away are they from me?
They're probably about 30 feet in front of you, and the one guy is 10 feet behind you.
I'm going to move. Actually, no, I'm not going to move.
Okay, we come around to Krem's turn. Krem, this big, tall, half-orc bog witch, she's got these tall muck boots and, like thick pants and stuff. She was working
She's
in the
the
fields.
ingredient one.
Yeah, she was working in the fields. And she reaches into her pouch, pulls out a mixture of like bog boom flowers and mushrooms, and she mashes them together in her hand. And, we did this a little bit with Calvacia, but and suddenly a firebolt comes out of her, this witchy magic from these things, and shoots out. Nat 20.
Wow.
Okay, and this firebolt shoots out and hits the shaman for
Krem's a bog witch.
16 damage. You watch as the shaman gets blasted backwards, totally off his footing, and lands on top of one of the other ones you did damage to, and looks unconscious, actually.
Oh!
That was insane.
Because we just did, what is that?
That was
27 plus that 33 damage.
33 damage, which he was already hurt from your fight before. So, that guy, unconscious. Krem goes, nobody's stealing from the bog witches. And then Mirabelle's turn. Mirabelle turns and looks at you, looks at them, and she takes out from her thermos a powder. It's like mushroom powder, and she casts it into the air. And this big cloud of spores goes out over the top of the one still gathering flowers, and she's going to cast Sleep.
Oh.
Which unfortunately means Flibbit will also be a part of this.
Oh, no.
But it's just Sleep. All right, so I need to roll 5d8. Okay, so in that order, 2 of them fall asleep.
Oh.
Flibbit does not quite fall asleep.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, no. They all took 8 damage.
Yeah.
So 3 of them fall asleep.
Oh.
Yeah. So you watch as Mirabelle casts out this spell.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, the
powder.
shaman is unconscious, so...
No, I know, but there were still 3 back there.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so... Oh, but 1... No, you're right.
Yeah.
Only 2. You're
Yeah.
right. Only 2 fall asleep. There's still 1 back there trying to steal flowers. Sees this shaman fall unconscious and sees 2 of his friends start going... And Mirabelle looks at you and she goes, "Thank you, sweetie. These Gatorfolk are nothing but trouble, and we constantly have problems with them. So it's just time for them to take a little nap." Sorry, I did it again. And it comes back around to Flibbit's turn. Flibbit is squaring off with one of the ones with the club, and he goes, "Nobody is taken from the bog witches," even though he has no relation or connection to them at all.
Yep. He's just like Scubby.
And he flips around all cool, and he activates his stench spray again.
Wow.
Yep. I think next turn he might get or next level, I think you'll get another spell that's an attack.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. I just rolled another nat 20.
Flibbit is high on coffee.
Yes, he is unhappy. I think his large eye stalks narrow and his mouth gets all frowny.
It's frowny.
Don't mess with my coffee.
Let's hope he rolls really good on damage.
28.
Wait, it's a crit.
So 14 damage for Flibbit.
Poor,
Wow. All right.
Gatorfolk. They really don't.
Just picked the wrong fight.
Yeah.
And that one also gets knocked unconscious. The shaman should have had some DK latte because
Yeah. He's rolling death saving throws.
rolls a death saving throw, succeeds, but is unconscious. The one that Flibbit just knocked out fails. And there's the one behind you whose turn it is now.
Oh, no. Yeah.
You're not super intelligent. However, he sees the issue of suddenly going from 6 of them to 2 of them. Looks at you and he growls. And he looks at Mirabelle and Crumb and he growls. And
I do the eye thing again.
you do the eye thing again. And he bolts over to the shaman and grabs him and slithers off into the swamp.
What about the other 2?
And then the other guy who's conscious, who was gathering flowers, grabs another one of the sleeping one, or the unconscious one, and pulls him into the swamp. But you can assume that's to like help them. The guys that are sleeping are still there.
Oh.
And we'll go ahead and say that for the purposes of this, combat is over. They slither off and they go help their friends in a distant place. But there are 2 sleeping Gatorfolk still sitting in the flowers.
Wow.
Surrounded by bog boom flowers. And Creme and Mirabelle take a breath. They're both pretty old. Take a breath. Creme says, well, thanks.
I flash my license again and say, that's what I'm for.
Mirabelle goes, yes, thank you, sweetie. That was quite the show you put on. I think Flibbit rushes over and he goes, Kia, are you all right?
Yes.
All right. Well, just in case. And he's going to cast a heal on you.
Oh. Well, thank you, Flibbit.
Which means you get to add a d6 plus a d8. So you get a d8 plus 4, and then you get to add a d6 to that.
I gain 11 hit points.
Nice.
Which is the exact amount I needed to get back up to full.
So Flibbit comes over and he cure wounds you, and you feel this like burbling up from your insides, this DK latte that you got that washes up from your stomach as well, and it makes your whole body feel warm and gooey and delicious on the inside. And
gooey?
Yep. And you feel extra healed.
Yay.
And Mirabelle looks over at you and she goes, I see the DK latte did a wonderful job, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Now, sweetie, tell me, why would you help us, even as a rummager? That was very nice of you.
I have a bad history with these Gatorfolk. They tried to steal my potatoes.
As do we. Everybody would get along a lot better. They just had some coffee. And Creme looks at her and she goes, Mirabelle, you're doing the thing. And Mirabelle's like, I'm sorry. Yes, no. Whatever we can do to help you, we will provide. Are you heading into Hathon for a specific reason? Maybe we can help.
Can you tell me how long ago did that vehicle go by?
Oh, it was just a couple hours ago. Maybe 3-4 hours.
Okay.
Are you following them?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay. Yeah, it's not the only traveler we've had in the last couple days either. There have been others.
I'm looking for that specific vehicle.
That specific vehicle.
And the people inside it.
Oh, you're not the only rummager we've seen pass by either.
I think I clear my throat a little bit and say, have you happened to see a elf rummager?
Yeah, actually. A couple days ago. And Creme goes, yeah, she came by, elf woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't catch her name. Distant for a second, she goes, she got cappuccino. And she told me it was delicious. But I will admit she looked quite nervous. She kept looking over her shoulder.
Well, thank you for the information. The coffee was delicious. And is Flippet, coming down a little bit now?
No. He's probably bouncing around. He's probably hovering over the top of the two unconscious Gatorfolk going, yeah, you stay asleep. If you got up, you'd be in trouble, mister.
I think I go over and grab Flippet by the tentacle.
Yeah, hold me back. I'll fight him.
This is what happens when little kids have coffee. I
That's
think
basically what I was imagining. He's gonna crash hard here in about 20 minutes.
Yeah,
to an hour.
I think I drag him back to the
and they probably watch with you. And they're probably talking the whole time. Krem's like, I told you we needed to figure out some better defenses. And Mirabelle's like, yes, I know, Will. The Gatorfolk have always been a thorn in our side. And, well, we'll just have to figure something out. Maybe I will petition to the council.
I listen to this as I buckle Flippet in and say, maybe I could help you with that. I'm heading to the council.
You are?
For reasons.
How wonderful. Are you plan to speak with members of the council?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, stand right there and don't move. And Mirabelle runs inside real quick and spends a little bit. Creme looks at you and she gets in character a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that.
Well, thank you again. And
my pleasure.
Creme reaches on her back and she pulls forward a satchel, not really a satchel, I guess, like a pouch, a small pouch of bog bloom flowers. And she looks at your bike and the blended potato inside and she goes, well, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it looks like maybe you need a fuel source for that kind of thing.
Yeah, I have some extra potatoes and I open the...
Yeah, and she goes, well, if you ever want a little extra boost, try to add these. I'd be curious to see what happens.
Okay.
And so she hands you a pouch
full of bog bloom flowers.
Mystery bog bloom flowers.
I think I take one and open the lid and drop it in.
Okay, you pull out this green flower and you drop it in on top of the potato. Okay. Mirabelle rushes over and I like to imagine you put the flower in and you turn around and she's right there again. She's standing directly next to you.
I think I turn around and jump again and say, how do you do that?
We all have our specialties, don't we?
I look at Creme.
And Crem's just shaking her head in the background. Mirabelle's like, sorry. Here, take this. And she hands you a chain necklace, right? Mm-hmm. And it's pretty big. The chain itself is small, but the necklace is this large circular disc-shaped thing with a hole in the center, almost like a donut or...
A donut?
Or, a DVD.
This donut hole has a donut hole inside of it.
But yeah, so no, she hands you a necklace
Knives out quote.
Yeah, with a DVD attached to it, essentially, past world. You don't know that it's a DVD. Or Kia doesn't. But on it that it says Bog Witch Token of Goodwill.
Oh.
And she looks at you and she says, we can hand these out to people and they will get you an in at the council. They will know that you have helped a witch and you can pass Creme and my story along.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And she gets really close to you and her eyes get all narrow. And she goes, I hope you enjoyed the coffee. And then she scampers away into green bean coffee. Creme gives you a nod and she says, thanks a bunch. Maybe we'll see you again. There's more green bean shops in town.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And they go back to their thing and you start hearing steam screaming and
cackling
awful cackling and it starts pouring back out of the hut.
Oh. I think I took not wearing it, I took the DVD into my pocket.
Okay.
And hop on, or actually no. Has the path leveled out?
I was going to say, probably after this, you're starting to get pretty close to Athon with this because you've been a couple hours into it. We'll say that the path is much more wood slats, and you think you'd be able to move at a faster pace.
I think I hop on the bike and rum it and say,
You mean rev it?
rev it. Rum it?
Rum it. All right. You rev it up, and the blender starts blending things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blends the potatoes for a second, blends the potatoes for a second. You start moving. All of a sudden, this green flour hits the blades, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this like aura of green glows from the blender, and you feel from behind the moto wheeler like a burst of speed.
Oh.
And you launch out of there, and you hear from the background Krem go, "Woo-hoo! That looks fun!"
I say, thank you for the flowers.
And you rocket towards Athon and out of Boot Stealer Bog. Okay.
Done. Done.
Yep. So you cruise along for another hour, we'll call it, maybe 30 minutes. And all of a sudden you crest out of the bog. You start leaving behind the waters and everything there. Almost strangely, you've heard of Athon many times. You knew it was a big city, right? But the city that is plopped just like right in the middle of this bog is weird, because suddenly the land around it lifts up just enough that you are out of the wetlands. And so the whole city is built up on this hill that's just a little bit about. But you break through the bog trees and the bog bloom flowers and everything, and there is just this massive city. Walled in, kind of protecting from the thing, but just bog bloom trees everywhere. The whole wall is covered in beautiful flowering vines, and it's less of like a castle or anything like that, and more of this like beautifully decorated
A walled city.
But the walls are so pretty, and like the gates are, there's not necessarily like a fortress look to it, but it does have a wall around it. But the wall is covered in decorations and flowers.
I think I look back at Flibbit.
Flibbit's probably...
Did he crash yet?
Yeah, he crashed. I think partway through that voyage, he goes, "Kia,
Yeah?
can you hear me?
Yeah?
Kia, let's see into the universe." And then he passes out and starts snoring.
I ride up to the gates and slow down.
Mm-hmm. And we'll say there's a guard.
Yeah.
Of sorts, yeah.
I hop off
and he
the
says,
bike.
"Hail!" And it's just a human.
Yeah.
"Welcome to Athon."
I don't know what to say. I think I nod at him.
Know what to say to welcome to Athon?
I mean, I think I nod at him and walk through the gates.
Okay.
I walk the bike through the gates.
Yeah, and he goes, "What a fascinating contraption. You'll fit right in.
Thank you.
Welcome, traveler, to the city flowers." And he goes like this with his hands, and he makes wiggly fingers.
I think I eye him and think that this is probably like practice.
Yeah. There's nothing like particularly flowery about it. He's just seemed like a weird guy.
Yeah.
But lots of decorations of bog bloom flowers everywhere. They're like growing up the sides of buildings. You see massive amounts of people. Like, you went to Briarport and that seemed big to you from Athon. This is 4 times the size of Briarport.
Yeah.
And there are people running around. There's kids. All the houses have these vines with beautiful colored flowers coming up off of it. The road is all wood slats, like nice road. Mm-hmm. And you go in, and there's just this massive, beautiful city in front of you.
I have a single question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I look down at the ground.
Okay.
Are there any tire tracks, wheel tracks?
Oh, I see.
Did the thing
go ahead and
go off or go through Athon? That's what I want to know.
Yep. Go ahead and make me an investigation or survival check. And I will give you advantage.
Okay.
Because you know what you're looking for.
23.
23.
On investigation.
As you approach the gate, there is kind of a inner and outer city kind of vibe to Athon.
Yeah.
The outer part of the city that you're in here is much more open, and the road goes in, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's sort of this inner city part where there's some more bog bloom trees and things that encircle this part. and they're very decorative and pretty. There's a big courtyard where we saw, where we experienced your story.
Yeah.
You can see that. I will say that there are 2 roads. One road that goes directly into Athon, and another road that cuts through the city still. You're still in the city, but it does look like it's a side road to kind of go past Athon.
Oh.
Or to go past the main part of the city, like a byway for people that are just going through, because this is the only road that goes northwest.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll say with that 23, the tire tracks stopped here and then turned and took that side.
Oh.
So whether or not they go into town or not, or for how long they stopped, you don't know. But you do get the vibe that they stopped here for a time and then moved on.
Oh.
And maybe somebody got out. Maybe they went to supply, that kind of thing.
Okay. That answers my question.
And there you go.
Maybe next week we will bring in the mob.
That, I believe, will be the plan.
Ah.
And you might meet yourself a Calvatia. All right, everybody.
Calvatia.
Thank you so much for listening once again.
To
as always,
this definitely very serious,
super serious podcast. Yep. I hope you enjoyed your listenings. I hope you enjoy any coffees you might drink this next week. And thanks again. Leave us a follow. Leave us a like.
Leave us a comment.
We got all the socials. We got an email. We got too much time on our hands.
Yep.
Help us out by filling it with entertaining things for us to read.
Yay!
All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next week on
Dadventurous.